Morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, Talk Tuesday. We are at a part of the straight road you guys don't usually see because I'm not usually silly enough to try to film on dodgy footing like this, but here we are. Who do I have today? Nova, who's carrying a tree. Phoebe, Hamish, Murphy, Kronk, Denver, Tucker and Maggie are up there. Yeah, so Christmas week, very exciting. Gonna do just sort of a chill topic today. I've been getting a lot of questions from training clients and from walk clients about winter gear. So I thought I'd address that. So even in cases when you have like a double coat dog or a dog with a thicker coat, like Phoebe has a double coat, Nova double coat, thicker coats like Tucker, who's literally built for this kind of weather, like he's part husky, and then Maggie and Denver. Like even Kronk, he doesn't really feel this. It's like right now when I got out of the car it said it was like -1, -2 in the sunshine. It of course feels warmer. Speaking of, we're gonna unzip the coat a little for this leg when there's a bit of wind, and that's the thing in Ottawa, is the wind chill. Makes it a whole different ball game. So I don't usually look to putting coats on the dogs, with the exception of Murphy, who's a weenie. Both the breeds that he is that are in his mix are not weather dogs. And then Hamish is an exception because he recently had a haircut and I'd rather he be wearing a coat just to make sure, because mostly I'm worried about kicking up snow and then it melts on him and then he's wet, and now he's wet and cold, and then if we get a bit of wind. And he's a smaller dog, so smaller dogs will also feel the cold faster. Dogs that have really thin and fine coats, like pointers, short hair dogs, greyhounds, whippets, those sorts of dogs. Like if your dog is basically naked, obviously they're gonna feel the cold more. So I'm gonna start with like my regular coat, which is exactly what Hamish and Murphy are wearing. They're called chili dog coats. They're locally made here in Ottawa. You can find them at most smaller pet stores like Pet Values, Cricket & Co. if you're downtown, Chew That if you're closer to my end of town. You can also order, oh my goodness, you can order them online. You can see here, sir, you're making this look very disreputable. Okay, so here's what I like about this coat. I've had this almost his whole life. It was big on him when we first got it, but he grew into it. So it's a bit more of an investment, these coats, but they last forever. This has been washed like infinite times. They're fleece, fleece on the inside. They're like a windproof, water resistant on top. And then they cinch in at the waist. There's Velcro here to make sure it stays where you need it to. And then it clips at the top. And it's got this nice handy thing to hang it. All the piping on it is reflective too. So it helps if you're walking at night, for people to see your dog. So I love chili dog coats. They are my go-to. I mean, you'll see Murphy in many, many things because he's a weenie. The pajamas he wears that you guys comment on a lot, those are not for sale. You will not find those. I make those. It's not a thing. Not for sale. I cannot emphasize that enough. They are a pain in the butt to make. But I'm sure you can find something similar if that's your jam on like Etsy. I've definitely seen, that's actually where I got the pattern from mine. So I'm sure that you can get the full-on pajamas if that's, again, more of a short hair or wimpy dog thing. And then if you need to step it up, so for example, when it gets colder, like, so I don't really put coats on dogs until it's around, say, -10, colder with the wind chill. then I'll start thinking about it, especially the smaller dogs or the shorter hair dogs. And then minus 15, minus 20, that's when I start looking at these guys. Purely because I know if it's minus 10, minus 20 outside, that the wind chill is going to make it much, much, much colder. So, but the most I will put on like Tucker is a chili dog coat, because they have chili dog coat. Whereas Murphy has a full-on parka. So it is the other brand I would recommend if you need a bit more oomph to your winter gear. And it's Herta. It is not a Canadian company. I believe Denmark. Don't quote me on that. But H-U-R-T-T-A. Herta. I love their gear. It's really great. It's really thoughtful. They design it really well. It's, again, something that's going to last the lifetime of your dog. And the fit is really adjustable, which is nice. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video to this where I'll show the different coats on Murphy so you can get an idea. Locally, I get my Herta from Apple Saddlery. I do believe you can also get it online. I would be shocked if you couldn't. And I don't know if I mentioned chili dog coats. Also, you can get online. You take a couple measurements. And then if you're really struggling, they do have an online chat option, as well as they'll call and help you fit, which is handy. They also have a really wide range of sizing. So you can get like long and lean if you have a dog with more that body type. I have to get Kronks in a broad and burly. But I've been putting it off to see sort of what his growth is going to be doing. I see you, Maggie. Hold on. Good girl. Hold on. I fix it. You've done quite a number here. Ooh. Here's one. Sorry, this is probably not the best viewing. There we go. Okay. Beauty. Every once in a while, I'll just call them back and untangle the line. Tucker, Denver, too far. Thank you. Good, good. Okay, go. Oh, Nova. Yeah, that's what you get. Okay. Yeah, so that's when it comes to coats. And then when it comes to boots, in the city, like when you're walking on roads and sidewalks and stuff, it's pretty important. Just purely based on the salt and stuff in their paws. Like ideally you want to keep as much of that out as possible. I love it when we hit the open field and they just let it rip. This is not a place that we can walk in the summer. Like as soon as it's planted, I don't let the dogs come here because I don't want to mess up any crops. But in the winter when the ground's frozen and everything's harvested, we still stick close to the tree line for the most part, but it gives them a good place to let it rip. Okay, boots. There are these ones called Paws, which are like little balloon booties. They come in a little plastic case. They come in a set of 12, I believe. And you're like, my dog has 4 paws. Why would I need 12 boots? It's because like eventually they do wear out and tear. And you just replace a single boot as opposed to having to replace an entire set, which is nice. These are also, in my experience, dogs adapt to them relatively quickly, much more quickly than a more reusable boot. You might see these on Murphy if he's having like a day where his paws seem extra sensitive, or when it's really, really cold out, I will put boots on him because they seem to help him function better. But for the most part, I only put boots on my guys if we're walking in town or in the city. And then for the most part, I use either Mutt Luxe, which again, you can get in most smaller pet stores. I'm not sure if PetSmart sells them, but I know most small pet stores do. And then I'm not sure what kind we have, but I really like them. They fit really well. They stay on, which is my big thing. And then the other set that I used, which I'm just too scared to use when I'm hiking or anything like that, because if they get lost, then I have to buy a whole new set, and they're not cheap, is a set from Herta again. And I love them. They fit really well. They stay on really well. I just wish they were like a more neon color to make them easier to see in the snow if they lost them. Okay, we're gonna just double checking because there's someone else walking this area with me, so I want to make sure that we're not going to run into each other. I'm also choosing the easier side of this brush to walk in. Okay. Yeah, so how are we doing? And we're at 11 minutes. Okay. So a bit longer than I wanted to talk, but I hope that helps you guys with my pick. Oh, jeez. With my picks anyway for winter gear. And if you have any questions, you know what to do. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having as much fun, at least as Kronk is. And that you have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.